Hello everyone, I am Muneeza and coming at you from my new digs, new office. That's gorgeous mandala in the back, which I absolutely love. It was a piece that I had made, and it's just one of my favorite pieces. Hi, Gratefully Healing. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Heal with Amber. Truly Botanical Tools. Hi, Health Food. Hi, Kim. Hi, Kelly. How are you all? How's it going? It's so good to see everybody again. It's been a while, a long while, and I'm so happy to be here talking with you. You love the mandala? I know, it's gorgeous, right? Look at that thing. It's absolutely freaking beautiful. Yeah, I'm good. I'm really happy to be back live. It's you drinking celery juice. How was the move? Yeah, that's one of the questions you guys asked. The move was good. It was as smooth. Hi, Mimi. Hi, Denise. It was as good as a move could be, but moving is hard. Hi, Bindu. Hi, I'm Sweet Pea. Moving is just a hard thing to do. And we were super organized and super on track with everything. Hi, Fariste. Hi, Susan McWilliams. We were, I would say like we had it together pretty well. And, we got unpacked in about, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks. So I think we did a really good job with that, but it's just, it takes time to unwind, and I think that when you leave a place, you grieve a little bit, and, we had that all happen. We were kind of all sad, and, but it's all part of the course, and it's all, it's still hard. So moving is what? Amongst the top 3 most stressful things to do. Hi, Kay Carew and Sarah Nicole. Healing is happening. Hi, Jazz. How are you? Hi, Magda. How are you? It's just keep taking care of yourself when you go through something stressful. Hey, healing is happening. It's just a hard thing to do, and what do you do with that? So taking really good care of yourself, when I decided to go through 65 days of fat-free, I didn't know I was moving at the time. So I haven't been able to do that because it's really hard to stay fat-free when you don't have a kitchen for a while, and when you have to rely on outside food, there's always a little bit of fat in there. So, I had to let go of some of those things that I was already doing. But I think that being on point and staying on top of it for my own, being as much on top of it as I could be, helped me to, be able to get through this without having too much of a flare. I did still have a little bit of a flare soon after we moved. It's like a long day of moving and being on your feet and watching the movers and making sure that you're telling them where to put stuff. Hi, Plant Feasting. Hi, Louise Grace. Hi, The Legends of Zelda. Hi, Liz Maz. So it's a lot, to go through. And I think just, I never really veer away from medical medium protocols. It's just, whether I'm doing cooked or whether I'm doing raw or whether I'm doing fat-free. It's just kind of goes between those kinds of food choices. So there was a lot more potatoes and a lot more cooked food to help us get through it. Hi, Megan. Hi, Lola. And so it's just a lot. So you have to take your time and take care of yourself and do the best you can, and don't be too hard on yourself at the same time, and just, a step at a time. That's all you can really do. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be talking with all of you. It's been, like I said, a while, and so I'm here to answer your questions, and I've got all the Q&As that I got on Insta lined up here ready to go. So I'm going to read off my screen and I'll answer your questions. Yeah, potatoes, dance of healing. Potatoes are like a lifesaver in stressful situations, and that and mangoes, I think. Hey, Jan. Hey, Carissa. So they're a lifesaver. And hey, Vlada. How are you? And Whole Feed. Hi, you guys are so sweet saying hello. So it's a lot of, taking care, like I was talking before. If you've just joined, I was talking about my move and, about like landing with everything. And I said we were grieving a little bit. And, with the grieving and the moving and not being able to stay on point with your protocols, you really, have to let go of some dietary stuff. Maybe you're eating more fat, maybe you're eating more cooked food, but you kind of make it work and you do what you have to do. So, hi, Chota. Hi, Wellness Integrity. So we're doing what we have to do. It's been 2 weeks in the new place. So we're not quite all unpacked yet, but we're getting there. And, the first thing to get unpacked was the kitchen, which was great because the kitchen has to get going. And the supplements, which, those are the boxes that I took with me. Hi, Jane. Hi, Jelani. I carried those personally, unloaded them myself, so I knew exactly where they were. And so those are just things that you do, to, take care of yourself. And then making sure the juicer was handy and the Vitamix was handy, so that those things, the moment you arrive, you're good to go. Like you make a grocery trip and you get all your stuff, and then the kitchen's ready. Like, because you don't need much when you eat the way we do. You need a little bit of stuff. So it's always easy to do a lot of fruit, and we had our honey and our powders, and you're good to go. So I think we made it work with lots and lots of potatoes. The first week was like potatoes like up the wazoo, but thank God for potatoes, because they're such a fast food, when you need something cooked and heavy. And all you guys saying hello, hi, I can't answer everybody individually. There's so many of you guys. Thank you for coming on. It's such a pleasure to say hello and connect with everybody again. Potatoes are life. They're really great. So I wanted to come on and ask, and answer your questions. So you guys sent in a lot of questions, and I'm going to pick some of the really cool ones and go for them. So you guys ready? So the first question was, hi, my 2-year-old is having a sty for almost 2 months. He's on the MM protocol and still doesn't go, and then it cut off. So I don't know if you're on the live. It's Grodno76. That's a question from you. And so a sty is, you got some strep going on in the eye. So, make sure you're treating it with some strep protocols. Some people like to drop in some Sovereign Silver into the eye. But also make sure you're off grains and you're off of dairy and eggs, and make sure your 2-year-old is off of all those foods, because otherwise strep is one of the most tenacious bugs, more tenacious than any of the viruses sometimes. So you gotta get the food right in order to clear that up. Everybody coming on, hello, hello, hello. Mustang, Carlisle, Elaine, and Jenny, and everybody. So somebody says Journey XXOO. I see information on how to lose weight with MM, but I wonder how to gain weight. So people who struggle with gaining weight because they have too much weight loss, that happens because you have a viral condition affecting your liver, and when you get stressed, the adrenaline that your body's producing acts like an amphetamine, and the amphetamine runs your adrenals super high, and so it prevents you from being able to put on weight. It's a viral issue, and it's really important to address the viral piece of it. So I think that people who cannot put on weight struggle with that, and it's not something that you can fix by eating more calories or by, it's not an easy fix. It's not like you can just eat more. because I'm sure you've tried that and it doesn't work because you have a viral issue in the liver. So I hope that helps you to understand that. And the next question is, what causes nausea during pregnancy? So it's a couple of things. One, it can be from the baby being, created in the womb, and that pressure that gets put on the uterus and all the other organs moving things around can cause you to feel really nauseous. But also, if sometimes it's a really, toxic liver can also make you feel that way. Another question is from Vlada Divine. I know she's on here. Hi, Vlada. What is causing high B12 levels in the blood? High B12 levels are not caused by viral issues. It's actually when your B12 is not being absorbed enough into the organs where it's supposed to go. So it raises in the blood and it's too high in the blood. And that's what happens. So you have to just keep taking it because eventually it will be absorbed. And somebody asked a question earlier about, do beans really hide strep? They can. If you have a really bad strep issue, they can. So grains definitely do, and beans aren't quite a grain, but they're, a little bit, can sometimes be problematic in a strep situations. So, Megan, I've been told to add 5 MTHF. Should I add it gradually? It depends on the dose you've been given, Megan. I mean, if you were given like 10 milligrams, I would definitely go slow. But if you were given 1, then you can just do it, All right, cool. So next question. Wait, I don't know what happened to the questions. Here we are. So the next question was, is Dulse okay to consume on a daily basis? Yeah, it totally is. Anthony tells you to put it in the heavy metal detox smoothie, which is a post on his blog. He even talks about the ingredients of the heavy metal detox smoothie in the first medical medium book. And so it's really important to have it every day. If you're worried about it, tell me why you're worried. This question's from Lucy Cardenas. So it's really important to address that. Okay. Next question is SVT atrial flutter caused by EBV or another virus, or is this a heart condition? From Gratefully Healing. So, Jolene, thank you. I'm glad to be back. So, atrial flutter is it can be caused by a virus. It's usually not EBV. It's usually an HHV6 virus that does that. So, yeah, it's definitely viral. But heart conditions don't just happen, meaning they're not just, it's a heart condition. It's usually viral or liver related. That's why you get them. Okay, next question. Bartholin cysts for 7 years, protocol for 8 months. Do these cysts need external treatment too? Bonfreda healing. The cysts are usually caused by strep. They can be caused by other things too, but usually it's strep, and they don't need an external treatment. I don't know what you mean by putting something topical on them, but you can follow a really strong strep protocol and get there. So I don't know what you're doing, Bonfreda healing, or whether you're listening today, but let me know. Mrs. Fat Bastard. Hey, Carol. I love saying that name, by the way. It's so funny. Next question is from Pasajera del Mundo. Okay. Muscle weakness is my toughest symptom, and I have healed so many others. Will this also heal? Yes, it will. And I want to tell you that it will heal because, after I got bitten, and if you guys don't know my story and my history, Last year I got bitten by a very, very, very poisonous insect, and my arm became paralyzed for a while, and I experienced a shit ton of muscle weakness all over my body. And literally until this summer, I had not worked out or moved my body or been able to, just move. I had no energy. So I experienced a whole lot of muscle weakness, like literally on my left hand. I couldn't even pick up anything, with my hand. I couldn't even hold like a key, I remember my husband put the keys in my hand and it just fell out of my hand because I couldn't hold it. That was too heavy. So, there's a lot of muscle weakness, and I recently started to really work this muscle out. Moving helped because I was actually moving boxes and pushing them with this hand, and I was able to feel the strength come back. Eating a lot of fruit and mineral salts and working the muscle out is actually what's going to make the weakness, disappear over time. And also, as you get the neurotoxins out of your body and out of the tissues, the weakness will go away and you will feel better. So I hope I answered your question. Next question is, how do you take control of cholesterol when your gallbladder is full of stones and your eyes have xanthelasma? So this is from Aurora Jimenos. So cholesterol is a liver issue. So if you're really interested in what happens with the cholesterol piece, Liver Rescue is coming in. It's August 16th today, October 31st. There are less than 2 months to go. Less than 2 months? No, a little more than 2 months to go to get this book. So it's coming. There's a lot of good information in there. Cholesterol is a liver problem. So you have to, and if your eyes have full of that toxin called xanthelasma, then that's also liver toxins coming up and out of the eye, EBV toxins coming up and out of the eyes, going into the bloodstream, ending up in the eye. So, when something goes from the liver, neurotoxins, they can go all over the body. They can sometimes accumulate in the brain or accumulate in the eyes or accumulate in other parts of your body, and then you can have symptoms show up there. So that's what that is. But I would eat low fat, keep off the no foods, stay away from grain, and really do an antiviral protocol so you can heal. Okay, next question. What's the best typical day of food for a toddler to get all nutrients in? Okay, so, as long as you're feeding them glucose and mineral salts throughout the day, that's ideal. And toddlers graze. They don't eat 3 big meals in a day. Most children graze. Hey, Joyful Michelle. My kids all graze even now. Like my 8-year-old, my 10-year-old, my 5-year-old, all graze all day long. Literally, it's like I've set them up in the kitchen now so that they can get their own food. They cut their own fruit so that, I'm not always in there. Mommy, can you cut my fruit? Mommy, can you get me this? Mommy, can you get me that? So it's important for them to be allowed to graze so that they grow up learning that grazing is okay, and let them graze. And as long as you're feeding them. So my kids will typically eat for breakfast. They'll eat, they'll have their lemon water, which they make themselves. And they put wheatgrass in it so they get their minerals, they get their honey, they get the glucose, which is a great start to their day. And then when we get into the kitchen to make some celery juice, sometimes I'll make it, sometimes the kids will make it, so we do that. And then a lot of fruit. Like toddlers eat a lot of fruit, so you can just give them a lot of fruit and don't worry about, don't listen to them saying, oh, it's bad for your teeth or whatever. It's not. And then they want to eat something heavier, so then you can make potatoes, or you can make sweet potatoes, or you can do squashes, or you can do, like lentil pastas or chickpea pastas. And those are all things that toddlers love to eat, but they're still pretty healthy. So, you don't have to load them up on a lot of food. They will feel pretty full with and satiate themselves with a lot of what you feed them. If you feed them right, their instincts will be intact. They will understand what satiates them. But if you feed them a lot of fat and salt and those kinds of foods, then they're going to crave that stuff more, and then they'll always want more of that food, and then the fruit doesn't satiate them as much. Does this make sense? So for example, these days we're doing a lot of nice creams, and they're loaded with fruit, lots of bananas, lots of berries, lots of any other frozen fruit, lots of mango, lots of pineapple. And that's a lot of fruit. And then we drizzle it with honey, and then we put a lot of, other cut fruit on top of it. And, they'll eat like 2 bowls of that. And then they feel good. And then I notice that then the days that I give them that much fruit to eat, or make them a smoothie or something, then they're not hunkering after, oh my God, I need Simple Mills crackers, or oh my God, I need Mom, can I get a bag of chips? That they're not wanting those types of snacks, okay? So I hope that's a big question. So I tried to answer as much as I could for you. Bone Freda Healing, I hope that helps. Love information on Charcot-Marie Tooth disease, Kimberly Tyler. Yeah, that's a really bad one. But it's EBV, and it's lots of heavy metals and lots of other toxins too. It can be a blend of them. So you have to really deal with the toxic piece, and you have to deal with the viral piece, and it can take a long time to work through those issues. There's a woman on Instagram who's been a client. Her name is Tracy Wilson, and you can look her up, and she's been healing Charcot-Marie Tooth syndrome, and she's had some great success. And look her up. She's medical medium protocols all the way, really doing well, really understanding the truth and putting it out there. And she's writing a lot about this condition from her own experience and everything that she's healed. So if I were you, I'd go look her up. And she's not exactly Tracy Wilson, so if you're looking for her exact handle, tag me or, post on my stories or DM me, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so Shells Guyan, I know you're on here, you asked the question, what is responsible for male sex drive to be low? So, male sex drive, Dance of Healing, it's Charcot-Marie Tooth disease. It really has nothing to do with your teeth as much. Ichoda, thank you, it's Tracy Wilson 71. So, and if you want the person who's healing CMT, Ichoda just posted it in the comments. So Tracy Wilson 71. Tracy Wilson is here. It's actually Wilson Tracy 71. Thank you for being here. So I'm really glad you're here, and look her up. She's doing some great stuff on this very topic. So always good to speak to a person who's got experience with it, right? It's all good, Ichoda. You had the right number. So love Ichoda. I love Ichoda too. She's doing some great work herself. All right. So, I, at the same day, Ichoda was like, oh, I'm doing the 28-day cleanse. I was like, I'm doing the 28-day cleanse too. So we both were coming at it together. I sent my husband out this evening. I'm like, I need like 5 bunches of spinach. He's like, why do you need so much spinach? I'm like, well, I'm trying to do the spinach soup. So Ichoda, you were all doing it together. Charcot-Marie Tooth disease is a neurological issue. That is correct. It's lots of good stuff there. So next question, what is responsible for male sex drive to be low? It's usually heavy metals. It's not adrenals. For women, sex drive to be low is an adrenal issue. Hey, Purely Catherine. For men, it's heavy metals, okay? And another thing for men, which actually comes up, and a lot of people ask me super, 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 super privately, which I understand, but I'm going to say it, erectile dysfunction is 100% a heavy metal issue on the pathway that's supposed to signal for erection. So, that can cause, the signal can come down that pathway and then bounce up, and so you don't get the ED, erectile dysfunction. So it's connected. It can be connected, which is why I bring it up, but that's a good question. All right. Next question from Magda. And she says, after 4 years of eating raw vegan diet and 2 years on the protocol, I am still bloated. Why? So Magda, you can have a lot of toxic dump into your gut, especially if you've been raw vegan for so long. And your liver is clearing out toxins, and your spleen and all of your other organs. And so if that doesn't move through, then you can have bloat, plus also you can have bugs in the gut, which can contribute to that too. So remember I said some of these bugs are really tenacious, and if they're hanging out, then they can cause bloat. If you're having it for that long, you might want to consider doing a colonic if you've not done it before. But those are all things to consider, you know? So, okay. Next question from Miss Honeybell. How's your move going? I already answered that in the beginning, so we'll move on. Yeah, there's a question here that I did not yet get to. On the protocol, this is from ecolife.ca. On the protocol, I'm having intense childhood memories, and I started crying because it's gone. Detox or something else? I'm not sure what you mean, Ecolife. Are you saying that the intense childhood memories came and then went away? Sometimes when you're, remembering something, it can be, it can be some kind of, intense, could be traumatic, too much to handle. So maybe you were releasing some toxin that caused that memory to come up. Or sometimes you can release an emotional toxin that connected to an emotional piece to that memory. And that can be clearing, and that can cause it to come up. So it could be a couple of things. You're crying because it's gone? I just didn't understand that part. You mean the memory's gone? Or the intense feelings are gone? Or I'm not sure. So if you hear this, let me know. Shweta, hi. When is Detox Mastery starting? I don't know. I don't know yet. There's a lot that we're working out. I started coaching with medical medium protocols in 2014. So we're going on to 4.5 years for me doing this work. And from the beginning of doing this work, it's been really, 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 really intense. And it's been just a lot to handle and to support people and to help. And I've spent many of these years working 7 days a week, sleeping really late, not getting up, getting up way too early. Also, 4.5 years ago, my baby was 6 months old. And so 6 months, so I had a new baby and a new career at the same time. So for the first time, this move actually took 2 weeks off to be able to move. I took a few days off before and a few days off after the move, and it's been really nice to actually get a break. I know moving is not a break, but for me, it was a break. So you got to think about how intense my life was, or is, or has been. If moving was a break for me, it's been really great to actually relax and not have to be on all the time. And, I've been doing client work, but less of it. A lot of people need help. And so you do the best you can. And when I started, I was the first one out there doing it. And so, when we started, there was nobody else to go to. Everybody came to me. So I was very happy to do it. So when does Mastery start? I don't know. I know I'm not going to stress myself out to do it, because I feel like after last year and having a bite and having more viral issues show up and, dealing with my health, I really want to spend time taking care of me so I can take care of you. And I have to take care of me first. And so it's a lot to, it's a lot. It's been a lot. I think as a practitioner, I don't really often talk about this. The programs are actually really helpful. I love doing them, but I'm not going to do them with the kind of stress that I've taken on before, because if you think that seeing private clients was busy, it was crazy. And then on top of that, I was working nights and weekends just to write programs and get them out there because so many people needed help. And I didn't have enough time to see people privately. So that's why I did programs. And I did programs because there was so much in a program that I could address for people that I couldn't address in a private call. Plus, you know, it's just a lot of work, and you're working all the time. Even though it's something that I love and I'm committed to, and it's my path and my purpose, I still have to really take care of me. Yeah, and it's been a labor of love. When I say that, I mean literally, if I didn't love this work, I couldn't have done it. You know, through everything that I went through last year as well, still writing programs, still like putting stuff out there for people so that you have the resources and you have support. And I want people to feel confident that they can heal. That's my number one goal. So I know you guys have been popping comments. So Heal with Amber said, what did you say? You're also starting to help people, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And it can be really stressful. I was talking to a practitioner in Germany recently, a couple of practitioners, and so it's, you know, it was really interesting to hear. She's like, oh my God, I hadn't realized that I can get so stressed out and my viral issues can go up just being a practitioner. And I said, yeah, it really is something you have to take care of yourself. So as a practitioner, it's super important to take care of me and, you know, definitely like put me first for a while. So I am still writing programs. I am still going to be doing everything, but probably at a different pace. Like I don't want to do this and not, you know, and go back to where I was, because I finally feel like my body is finally relaxing. And, you know, I've been going to bed at like 8 o'clock, which is unbelievable. And like sleeping until 8 o'clock the next day, which was like unheard of for me because I've got so much adrenal fatigue. And so now I'm able to like go to bed and really sleep deeply. And so much recovery has happened. Like I think in this move, even though moving is like one of the most stressful things to go through, I felt I've been healing as I've moved. So I feel like this was a great blessing, but also, you know, as a practitioner, if you're a practitioner or you want to work with people, remember that, you know, mine was a very unusual situation where I got handed over lots and lots and lots of clients all at once. But you guys are starting slow, and you can take it slow and take it nice and easy. Don't stress yourself out, and you don't have to help everybody. Make sure that you work a schedule that works for you. Amber said, I'm so glad you said that. I'm MM coaching for about a year. It's so much. I have to work 7 days a week too, but I do love it. Yeah, you know, but you got to take care of you. And everyone's been so sweet saying, thank you so much for giving up your time and helping people. And Ichoda said, are you still going to do the tiered program? Yeah. We're thinking about it. There's a lot that we're thinking about. We want to do this in a smart way, and we want to do it without stressing me and my whole team out, because, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, if you guys think that, you know, when you see the program and you see the materials and you see everything, it looks kind of, you know, it looks like done. It's a lot of work. Programs are a lot of work. It's double the amount of work on a program that I would do for private work. So it's a lot of work, and I love doing it, but you know, I want to do it like, say I'm not seeing clients. So it's really, what would you say to someone who wants to become a practitioner? I would say, learn the protocols, read carefully, listen to the shows, educate yourself. The material has to immerse into you. It's very easy to get swayed by what's out there, because there's so much out there that's not real. And that's, you know, that's not really it's misinformation, or it's misinformation blended with some of the truth, and it's kind of confusing. So I would say read, understand, immerse, do the work, do the protocols yourself, see how they work for you, immerse yourself in protocols. I mean, like, if you're going to do the 28-day cleanse, do it for not 28 days, do it for like 90 days. If you're going to do the thyroid healing program, do that thyroid rehab, you know? If you're going to commit to something, actually do it so you can see the results for yourself, and then you can understand how it works in the body, and then you can help other people. That's a really, really great way to do that. Sweet Pea's like jealous of all that sleep. Girl, I haven't slept like that in 10 freaking years. I would say 11 years since I was pregnant with my first child. So I have lost a lot of sleep taking care of babies, nursing, potty training, working. And so I'm like, this has only been a few short days that I've had that sleep, and it's been so healing. It's been unreal. So, Ichota said we need to get more of us properly trained. Yes, so that's what I'm working on, and that is one of our ideas as to how to get people. So I'm going to be focusing on a practitioner program. So Detox Mastery is a very important program up on my list here, so we can help more people become more well-versed with practitioners, practitioner work, getting people to understand, getting people to really go deep with protocols. One of the ideas that we had for practitioners, like last year in the Detox Mastery, we did one case study, but this time for training purposes, we're probably going to do a case study a week for 3 months, or maybe a case study every 2 weeks, because it's a lot of work to figure it out. So we haven't decided yet, but it's going to be something like that, where we're giving you guys a lot of case study work to go and figure out, and you're going to work in groups, and you're going to understand how to put it all together. And until you work on a case study and you actually work with a real life example, it's hard to apply. Applying the protocols is very different than just reading about them. So first of all, if you want to be a good practitioner, understand them really, really well, right? Understand the information. Think about the information. Do you know, you guys, I spend most of my time mulling over things Anthony has said. I spend most of my time thinking about all the different questions that I have, and I use the information he has given to connect dots all the time. Like, I think that's just where my brain goes. It kind of goes on and on and on like that. It just always is churning and thinking and connecting and trying to understand. And plus, when you work with as many people, I've worked with a few thousand people in 4.5 years. I think I've worked with about 3,000 plus people. It's a lot of people. So you get to apply it all the time. So when a client has a problem, I'm always thinking about it. I'm like, why isn't this fixing? Why isn't this healing? If that client gets stuck on something, I'm like, what is going on for them? Something's missing. You always are looking for that missing link as a practitioner. So Ichota is the same, and Healing with Amber is the same. Yeah, it's a constant thing when you're in it. When you're really a committed practitioner, that's what you're doing most of the time. Dance of Healing, I had no idea you offered this. Yeah, we did it last fall. We started in November, and we did a 3-month mastery program. And it wasn't for practitioners, but it was a practitioner level, meaning that you had to have some level of advancement to be able to join that program. I know I didn't stop anybody last time, but this time it's going to be really focused on people who are committed to learning, because I can't have somebody in that program who doesn't know or who's a beginner. I need somebody in that program who's really understands things already and wants to go the next step or the next few steps, so can help them go that next level. And also to with clients, if you listen to if you have 3 people present with similar symptoms, the whole call is going to be different with them, in the sense that you're not going to have 3 of the same conversations. You're going to have different conversations. So understanding the qualitative pieces beyond the symptoms is really critical. to helping a person to what they need, right? So it's a lot of pieces that have to come together to help them heal. The protocols might look the same, but the conversation's not always the same. Does that make sense? So, so, Liz, if you have a background in pharmacy, then definitely it would be, we'd love to have you in there. And Shavana, it would be deeper with the protocols. Mr. Salif, yes, very interested in the program. I'm so happy. I know you guys had asked some previous questions, so let me scroll back up. Do we need to get a health coaching certification? You don't have to get a health coaching certification. I'm going to offer just understanding protocols. I'm not going to call it a training program because you guys have no idea what it takes to get a certified program up and running. It's a whole other ball game. And I'm not going to certify people. I'm not going to officially train people. I'm just going to provide a platform for you to learn and understand things a little more deeply. Okay? So, other questions I'm looking for. So somebody had asked, my sun, moon, and all my stars. I love that name, by the way. If exercise or some activities cause adrenaline release, does this feed the EBV? Yeah, it can. The good stuff doesn't. But the really toxic, corrosive stuff can. So for people who are already adrenally fatigued, even a little bit more adrenaline they cannot handle. It's like you're pushing a car up a hill and it's going, and they're like, we're going to put one more boulder in the car, and then the car won't go. So that's what it's like for people who have adrenal fatigue and who are exercising. Even though it's not the worst kind of adrenaline, it still can be the one last boulder in the car that will be like, I just can't do this anymore. So for people with adrenal fatigue, we recommend if you crash easily, don't work out, okay? And you need to eat adrenal snacks. Have you heard of his adrenal snacks? You want to do them every few hours. Like if you're suffering a lot, then every even hour to 2 hours, you want to be eating those. Those are a combination of a glucose, a potassium, and a sodium. It's 3 things in the snack. He's got 16 snacks on his YouTube video. And if you go onto my Facebook page, you can find a list of them, print them out, and they're available so that you don't have to write it. So there's definitely that piece to look at with the adrenal fatigue. Purely Catherine said, I'd love to know more about topical steroid withdrawal, which I'm going through, and on its effects on long-term use in our bodies versus just normal eczema not treated with steroids. I'm 16 months in. Yeah, steroids add a whole other level, right? A whole other layer to deal with, more than one layer. So your body then has to deal with the not depending on the steroid anymore, and it not just helps the eczema, but your body starts to use it for other things too. So it's masking a lot of stuff. And topical steroid withdrawal is you have to do it really slowly so that your body doesn't react and go, just like Anthony talks about, coming off of thyroid medication in his book, and he says take a year or more to do it. I'm not suggesting you take that long, but you really want to go slow, like 6 to 9 months at the very least, to really slowly come off of it and start leaving gaps in there so that you don't really react. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, your liver, the moment you start to reduce it and come off of it, the liver will start to dump it out. So that's the other thing that can happen. Not sure what you mean by versus normal eczema, not treated with steroids. I'm not sure what you mean by that part, but I hope I answered your question. Jolene said, burning back of the arms, neck, back, hips, no blisters, hurts. That's shingles. Yeah, that's shingles. I'm Sweet Pea. Snoring is heavy metals. It can be. It can also be lots of strep. It can be a bunch of things. It's one of those things that's not caused by just one factor. Kristen Eagle, why does B12 sometimes increase anxiety? That's a good question. So sometimes B12 can increase anxiety in people who have just a huge toxic load, a huge neurotoxic load. And sometimes you have to go really careful. I've noticed the people who are the most sensitive are the most neurological. So you have to give less of it because they are the most sensitive to the B12. Jenny, what is the cause of dark-looking teeth? My 13-year-old has been on the protocol for two and a half years. Teeth are still looking dark. Usually dark teeth is just staining from acids that come up from the gut at night. Otherwise, it's from heavy metals also, but usually what you're describing sounds like just acids coming up from the gut. Mr. Salif says, can you state the cause of histamine intolerance? Were you the question about mast cell activation disorder? Somebody asked me that. Did I get to that question yet? Oh, Meg13 then said, what's a molar pregnancy? A molar pregnancy is when you can have a tumor grow, and people think it's because of the pregnancy, but it's usually probably already an underlying issue there anyway, and may have been growing there anyway, and because of the pregnancy becomes detected or obvious, but not, it wasn't detectable before that. And sometimes it may grow even more with the changes in hormones. Triploidy is definitely heavy metals. Kimberly Tyler said, I love information on thyroid nodules. See, I should have the thyroid healing book right here so I can show it to you. But if you want information on thyroid nodules, Kimberly, read that book. He has a whole section discussing thyroid nodules in there, caused by EBV. Okay, I think I answered all the questions. Want to make sure. Yep, I think I did. Okay, so histamine intolerance. Histamine intolerance is caused by a few factors. One, you can have a lot of strep in the body. You can also have neurological histamine intolerance being caused by not strep, but just a lot of chemical sensitivity. And chemical sensitivity is a neurological issue, so it can cause a histamine reaction or just a neurological reaction. They're kind of connected. So a histamine response is a response to an overactive state of your immune system, which can happen when you're really sick and viral. So I hope that makes sense. Chronic widespread pain. Yeah, sounds like EBV. Jane Bacchus says rosacea is worsening. It's probably all toxins going up through your liver, but your liver is clearing. And so a lot of people start protocols and they get skin rashes and eczema and psoriasis gets worse, or new rashes show up because the liver is healing. Instead of going through the elimination channels, it's coming up through the skin. Purely Catherine says, I'm already 16 months into not using topical steroids. Oh, that's good. But I feel the recovery is longer. Yeah, it can be, because you have more toxic load to release. Health Food Nutty said, inflamed vein on the outside of my right ankle, been painful and red for several weeks. And there was no injury, right? I would say liver. That sounds like a liver issue. I would make sure that you're icing it and not standing on it too long. Peas and veggies. I have brown spots on my lips and just recently on my gums. Yeah, that could be liver spots, or I'm not sure if you're doing protocol. Sometimes brown spots show up as a heavy metal detox. Box of Thoughts 981. How can I help my middle ear infections? Yeah, so middle ear infections are usually from strep. So you've got a chronic strep issue, which I would, listen to the strep show and do all of the strep protocols. Suggestions for chronic headaches and chronic tinnitus. Okay, so have you got thyroid healing? Because he talks about the causes in there. Sometimes migraines can be caused by EBV and the vagus nerve. Sometimes they're caused by shingles because of they're attacking the trigeminal nerves. So if you have chronic tinnitus, that's EBV. And if you've got that, maybe your headaches are from EBV, but sometimes it can be shingles too. And Journey says, antiviral protocol, adrenals, low libido. Low libido is adrenal issues, so take care of it. Go back and listen. I answered a question earlier about adrenals, so go back and listen to that. Gardening Tash, yes, ear infections is strep. Kimberly Tyler, my husband has vertigo. Vertigo is usually from Epstein-Barr affecting the vagus nerve, so I would do the Epstein-Barr protocol from the first book. So histamine intolerance, what would be recommended? I would clean up your liver, so liver healing protocols, and the heavy metal detox smoothie is a great liver healing protocol, and so that would be super helpful. Mast cell activation disorder is an Epstein-Barr issue, but it's usually a different kind of virus that will give you that particular symptom and affect the cells in that way. So you would have to do an Epstein-Barr protocol there as well. Also, do the heavy metal detox smoothie. And, oh wow, you guys, so many questions. Darcy says, if you have EBV, do you always have strep? Strep is a cofactor, and it can piggyback on EBV. Everybody has strep, but it depends on how much you have. So some people have enough to give them symptoms, and some people don't have any symptoms, but you usually always have a little strep in your system because it's so contagious. Warts on the finger come and go. That could be EBV. That actually sounds more viral. Little Blue Birdie, healing nerves, damaged nerves feeds shingles. Once it heals, it takes the food from shingles? No. I'm not quite sure I understand your question, but I'm going to try. So, damaged nerves don't feed shingles. Damaged nerves can send a signal out, a hormone out, that will that shingles can find and go attach to the nerve. Same with EBV. But it doesn't feed it. It just is a locating device, if you will. Right? Does that make sense? What feeds shingles is corn, soy, canola, gluten, dairy, eggs, sugar, MSG, stuff like that. All right, you guys, I am going to call it a night. You guys have an awesome night yourselves. It was amazing jamming with all of you here. I didn't mean to do an hour, but I guess I did. And I wish you have a beautiful night, beautiful rest. I'm going to go rest myself, go to bed, and catch some Z's. And we'll do this again. It's always fun. We're going to be doing a lot more Q&A. So look out for it next week. I'm going to do it again. And jump on and ask me your questions. I love, 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 love answering them. Take care all. Blessings to all of you too. Good night, good night, good night.